Here we go again. We are back to the beginning of the end. This is like a trend in video games or something. But either way, we pick up the story in 2029 as you, the main character, are preparing to go into a hibernation to sleep for a couple hundred years, hoping that the apocalypse be more or less over by the time you wake up. Since a giant asteroid is coming to pretty much wipe out the human race, and of course you, as a military dude, you are thrown into a hibernation, quiet, free, where you're just gonna wait out the apocalypse. And 106 years later, you wake up to discover, wow, everyone around me is just dead. And somehow you're the only one that survived in the fallout shelter. And with that, you decided, why not? Let's go outside. Let's figure out what's going on. Is it toxic out there? Is it nuclear radiation? Who knows? Who cares? We are going outside and very quickly run into a whole bunch of bandits who are trying to kill you, because it seemed like there is pretty much a mercenary hit / bounty toward onto anybody who might be coming out of the fallout shelters. And yeah, you pretty much screwed right out of the gates and not knowing what is out there and being jumped. It's pretty much the last of your real worry, because right after that you are rescued by a very, very nice fella who killed off all the bandits around you, took you home with him, and pretty much ordered you to kill people. And with that, we start the beginning of our story with our wonderful friend here, Dan, telling us that you are wanted by pretty much what left of the government here, and you need to get out of Dodge before everybody under the sun come hunting for you, since you are worth a lot of money alive or dead. And with that, he asks you to, of course, go back and murder everybody in a small little camp to help out his camp right along with giving you a little insight into the combat as a whole. And of course, you kill some people, you come back and find out that the camp you were just at ended up being attacked by a whole bunch of bandits. Pretty much everybody is not doing so good in the new camp that you have been invited into, if it is momentarily. So once again, you are ordered to go out and meet the neighbor village to bring back some medical supply to help out the people who took you in and asked you to kill people in our relationship. But you do so, you help them out, and in return, they give you an asset to a buggy, which is one of the biggest gameplay mechanic here is called combat. And with this, you is ordered to, of course, leave the camp, because once again, you're too dangerous, but, you pretty much handle everybody on your own fairly well, and everyone usually die anyway, so nonetheless, they still want you gone because you are indeed dangerous and will bring down the fury of the government on top of them. So you leave, you kill some bandits, you make it to a new town, you do a whole bunch of side quests, whole bunch of just random go here, kill that, push button, you know the video game routine by now. And once again, order to go back to see Dan, since Dan ended up wanting some help for you to go out and pick up any more equipment, because you haven't done that enough yet, from a male over in the biggest city in the area. In return, he will give you a fancy new crossbow as a big giant thank you. But once you make it to the brand new city and meet the male, he pretty much explains that, yeah, you coming from an ark or a fallout shelter is not exactly a good thing, because once again, we have established that, yeah, people want you dead or want you to be turned into the government. So he pretty much ordered you to go out and get some new outfits and try to blend in a little bit, because he needs you to do some more quests for him. And with that, you go, you get yourself a new outfit, you find out about the government that seem to pretty much be controlling everything, such as water, and making sure everybody is pretty much staying on a bad behavior. And we also find out that there are indeed mutants running around and how dangerous they are. And also we find out that the product that is left over from the asteroid hitting the planet is extremely very desirable in the continuity and are really wanted by a lot of people. And we also find out that racing around doing some death battle inside our buggy is also a very fun time here in the apocalyptic wasteland. So after entering some contested beating time and doing some death battle in our vehicle and hunting down some bandits, mutants, and whatnot, we are given enough credit to add some weapon to our vehicle, and now we can finally fight back against all the random bandit groups you find when you are outside the city just driving about. And as you are doing this, you more and more start finding out that there is a bandit camp who have started hoarding meteorites for some reason, and it's very implied that it's a pretty bad idea for them to have it, and you need to go and kill all of them. You end up taking a piece of the asteroid from where the bandit groups are mining it. You take it back to the mail, who lets you know that it seems a little distant. He kind of want to know what the bandit is exactly planning on doing with the liquid from the asteroid, and so he orders you to take it to one of his friends out in the wasteland who happen to be a scientist and might actually know what the item truly is gonna be used for, or what it could be used for. And so you hit the road once again. As you fight your way to the doctor, you end up dropping it off for him and finds out very quickly that the item gonna take a little bit of time to figure out exactly what it was gonna be used for. And in the meantime, you find out about a resistant group who is fighting back against the authority, who is the big bad at this point, or at least seems like it. And the doctor itself doesn't exactly know where the rebels are, he just know they exist. And he very quickly realizes you are a surviving member of the Ark. In return, pretty much tell you might actually be useful, and who knows, maybe the rebellion will actually, have some use for you overall. But he do realize you do have a heart beating, I get mini game thing, pretty much the mechanic of keeping you alive and doing a small little mini game. And depending on how well you do at it, how much health you get when you come back from the dead. And he tells you that he actually knows where an upgrade is for this item. Is not exactly the most pleasant place you need to go, but inside this city is a hospital for you to work at that happen to have a upgrade that you might be wanting. And with that, he sends you up to collect this upgrade for your heart, as he takes time to experiment and figure out exactly what the juices from the asteroid was going to be used for. So once you fight your way through another dungeon with some new mutants and some giant mutants, as well with a baby bot fight, and also get some new weapons out of this, you return back to the doctor with your new heart in hand, right along with a giant rocket launcher, might I add, to find out that he had done studying the asteroid and he know what the bandits was actually going to use it for. It seems that it could be used for either fuel or be used for a giant explosive, which is quite dangerous, especially in the hand of bandits. From here, he asks you to return back to the mail, and you do so to deliver the package of the asteroid juice. And once this is done, you find out that you need to go and talk to the show-up who have some questions for you. But to do these, you need to take part in the Grand Prix of racing. If you're anything like me and actually enjoy the racing combat side of Wage, there is a storyline you can do which involves you working your way through the Grand Prix of car combat. But as you go through it, getting metal, unlocking new equipment for your vehicles, and this is how you do it, there is some races you just can't get into without actually getting a sponsor. And here where we get introduced to a character with a very unique twist by the name of JK, who happened to be the announcer and the main dude in charge of Mutant Brat TV, which is a reality show within the Wage universe where, of course, you go through multiple stages of fighting random types of mutant for the entertainment of the masses. And by completing his little storyline, you get a sponsor and your racing competition continue onwards with any more races becoming unlocked. So once you're done wasting unlocking new equipment for your vehicle and ammunition, and you'd go do some quests for the show up, which in return will lead you to finding out some bandits have broken into the town and in the process of trying to poison the water supply of said town. And it, of course, once again, up to you to, say it with me everybody, kill some more bandits. And once that is taken care of and you get your hands on the poison they were gonna use, you are ordered to head back once again to the doctor to let him analyze it to see what is exactly going on with this as well. And once that is done, he tells you that he's been experimenting on a new type of weapon that could brainwash people, but with one little side effect of moments after being taken over, the subject randomly blows up. Thanks to you bringing him the poison, he ended up finding out he could use said poison with his experiment to make it, well, the ammunition will work flawlessly without blowing people up. And with that, he lets you know that he indeed knows where the rebellion group is that is going up against the government, and orders you to take that new experimental weapon to one of the rebellion members back in the city. And once there, you find out that the rebellion group have actually been watching you for the entire game up to that point and have asked you for some help. Now that they know they can trust you since you have built up a name in the community, and they ask you if you could help them out by breaking them leader out of custody. And with that, you only have one option at that point, which is of course to help the resistance. But as you going through the prison, trying your best to break out the leader, it very quickly realize that the government is indeed higher advanced than you are, let alone anything you have fought up to that point with full-on armor, shields, generator, ships, machine gun, you name it, they have it. But lucky enough, you do escape with the captain of the resistance, and as you fight your way out and back to Elizabeth, back in the bar abatement, you find out that the government now know about you, not only looking for you, but since they realize you are a member from a ARC, they are now trying to find the ARC you came out of to try to get an ID USB stick with information from everything about the past, caches, and so on and so on. So now, it awaits again time as you try to make it back to the ARC you originally came out of to find your USB before the government get their hands on it. So after a small little scrimmage with the government, you get your USB, no problem at all, and get out of your ARC alive, just to return it back to the resistance, where they end up finding out that the government itself have been experimenting on the mutants and trying to either turn them into a weapon or do something with them, might it be brain control or evolve them in some way. At this point, we really have no idea exactly what they are planning to do, but they up to no good, that is guaranteed. So with that, you are sent back into the city where you got your heartbeat upgrade to look for some information on exactly what they are doing, so the resistance will know exactly what we are getting ready to be up against. But as we return back to Wellplain, we end up finding out our price on our head getting pretty high, and some people are starting to get a little more talkative, and with that, it's time for you and the resistance to get hell out of Dodge and go back to the original hideout. And from the hideout, you meet a whole bunch of new characters, such as a dude who is all about ammunition and another one all about hacking. And from here, we find out that we have a little bit of time before the scientist Elizabeth can get done working on what possibly could be happening with that mutation. But we do find out that the mutations is not made from the asteroid or the radiation or anything like that. The mutants are coming from humans who have experimented on them with nanomachines and over time turn them into what they are. So in the meantime of trying to figure out the ID device from the USB, right along with what's going on exactly with the mutant, you are sent up to the leader of Subway Town boss to talk to the leader about what you can do to stay around and be helpful. Since the leader Whetstone is not exactly the best type of friend to have, he is more along the lines of do what I say or I'm gonna turn you over to the cops type of dude. But after doing some quests with him involving another gang and power supply and authority money from the Subway Town, you come back to find out that the authority is there and talking with Whetstone and have locked you out of explaining to him what happened at the power plant he sent you to. And from here you decided to go talk to your rebellion friends who seem to be having a little bit of trouble with hacking your ID USB stick, but lucky enough they have found out about a brand new arc that have come up to the surface, and hoping by sending you to that new arc and hoping that it hadn't been looted that badly at that point, you could get some more information on how to break the program code that is on your USB stick. And with that, you set out to see what is left at the new arc. Once you arrive at the arc, you find out that the arc itself have come up right in the middle of a giant bandit group. So, of course, you gotta fight your way all the way to the arc. But lucky enough, any with the random savages group whipping the place apart, they didn't exactly destroy what you need. You end up finding your encryption software stashed behind a panel, and with that, you escape back to the rebellion to hand over the encryption to the local hacker, which in return finds out on the USB stick it actually all the program code needed to awaken every single arc that is left buried underground. And with that, you start setting off and getting ready for your final mission, which is of course to fight your way into Capital Prime, the main base and organization of the government, where the controls are setting to unlock every arc and bring them all to the surface. So once you are ready to head on out after helping out destroying a bridge and opening a gateway to Capital Prime, you're ready to get your hands on the big effing gun. Of course, with this game being made by id, you gotta have a big effing gun, don't you? And with that, you set off to Capital Prime for once and for all to free all the arcs that are left underground, and hoping with everyone around the planet waking up, you will have an army ready at your fingertip to take out the government. So from here, you only have one option at hand, which is to attack Capital Prime. And you do so without very much getting in your way. Don't get me wrong, you fight a handful of soldiers and you see some of the mutants that have been turned into weapons. But pretty much the final area is super straightforward as you fight your way all the way to the main room where you will upload the program to wake everybody up. And once you do so, you will get a cutscene of seeing all the orcs being turned on from a satellite up in space, and cut to credits. So as you can see, the game pretty much in on a very much set up for a sequel slash whimper with no story at all for the final area, no big bad talking to you, nothing. Literally, you fight a handful of soldiers, you put some buttons, and you get a cutscene. So overall, there is the story of Wage. As you can see, not a lot to it overall other than the setup of the government being bad, the mutants, well, being made by the government, and a rebellion group trying to overthrow the government since they don't agree with the way they handling the apocalypse. So overall, is Wage really needed to be played? Not really. But, you know, I will let you make up your mind on it yourself. And hopefully now you are ready for Wage 2. Thank you very much for watching this episode. And of course, if you want to keep watching, go ahead and click on whatever interests you on the screen at the moment. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell to keep updated with all my video. As well as come on over to twitch.tv/PonyShow where I stream Monday through Friday. And hit that Patreon link below.